Hello, my name is Antonio and I'm a self-taught designer that currently is working for Virgin Mobile. While Victoria dive into the unknown, I'm gonna share my story and tone it down a little bit, how we kind of like started with a really big onboarding process with our app and tone it down like 60% and made a lot of happy users. Currently, how I'm gonna tell my story is one particular day when we had like a call from our brand console over at Virgin Mobile that it was time to kind of like do the rebrand and modernization of the app, because last year we did a complete rebrand of the of Virgin, and currently the app was pretty much lacking off. A lot of the users that came in on our app were kind of like a stuck, and they didn't have enough information on where they should fill in the forms, and a lot of the screens were unclear on where they should like choose their plan, choose their number, and so on and so on. So we had a lot of sessions with our PMs there and the marketing team, which guided us through where our app should follow and where our design should be at that particular time. And when we had a lot of sessions, we thought that our market share is 2.5 million users that are currently using the app, and it was kind of like a big bite to take in and redesign. So, for example, a lot of the users did drop out along the way, and they didn't how to register, and they didn't how to kind of like choose the plan. For example, they had a lot of feeling about when you're applying for a driver's license for the first time. So when you meet up your instructor, you don't know how to turn on the car, how to shift, and probably our users had the same feeling about it. Our onboarding structure is in 6 stages. So we have the login screen, the pick a number, the verification, to pick a plan, pick the SIM, and the final stage would be the payments. The onboarding process on the old design was much complex. It had like 10 or 15 stages that were completely different, and it was a chaotic kind of journey to go through. Our team of designers is pretty small, so we reached out to our team of UX researchers at that point, so to conduct some kind of like a research to see where our users had the dropout and where was the initial problem of the app. So after some time and doing some research and initial tests, the results came in, and we saw that the main breakage was during the plan selection and during the activation, kind of like a pick the SIM scenario. So the other thing is where we have like a Saudi Arabian app, and the other app was the Kuwaiti app, which are pretty much the same design there. So if we kind of like manage to do some stuff about in the Saudi Arabian app, we should follow up on the Kuwaiti side. So we didn't know if the app of the Kuwaiti side was the same, or if it kind of like did in a different way. So we did initial tests on that also, and we saw that both of the apps were lacking on that onboarding there. So here's a representation of the start of the onboarding we had, the old one and the new one. We did start from 16 screens of onboarding, which is pretty much chaotic there, and we simplified it into 25 screens. So in the way we have like a lot of happy users, and it's pretty much like a 60% cutoff with unnecessary screens there. So we started off redesigning the old kind of like a splash screen, login screen here, where it's not like very complex, but we wanted to do kind of like a give the users much information and what to do and what to expect in the coming onboarding. So we did redesign it to this screen where we had like a kind of like a steps to get to know the user, what to fill and where it should be headed, and so on and so on. So I will dive deep into this screen where we implemented a card system here, so the users can have like an easy access to every information we have, like an offers, streaming services, and pick their plan, what they needed, and so on. So on the right side here we have the build your own plan or the choose your plan, where we implemented a clear way where you can see all forms here. You can tailor your plan the way you need it, and it was like a really easy and cleaner scenario than what we had before. So on to the next slide is the pick your number plan, where you can see here it's kind of like an outdated screen, and most of the new users that came in didn't know if their number is selected or not, so it's kind of like a chaotic screen to be in. So the new solution, what we implemented here is a screen where you can be surprised by a number, like a random number, and if you don't like the number, you can pick a different number, get a VIP number, and bring your existing number from different kinds of other providers. On this screen is the most crucial part of the app, where you can pick your plan. Here we have like a bombardment of information, and it wasn't like clear enough where the user is going to read the price, and we had like extra data that they needed to kind of like introduce into this, and it wasn't possible at that time to introduce like different sections, and also the users did a lot of like scrolling to pick their plan, and the new scenario we implemented was this. It's a nice cleaner screen here when everything is kind of like visible. We had like added the pick prices right up there, where you can scroll through every price you want to, and have like a clear way of how many minutes, how many gigabytes, and what streaming services you have. So on the other hand, it was a last minute choice to add in like a section for the 5G speed for a small price subscription monthly. So on the previous screen, on the old one was cluttered, it was a bombardment with a lot of information, so we toned it up to this here. The next screen would be the pick the SIM screen, where we had a lot of issues with the cards there, because there was like those ticks there. Most of the users thought out that it's going to be like to fill in a form to activate a card or to pick a card, and most of them kind of like dropped from this screen, get to the customer services, and kind of like to explain how they would go through the experience altogether. So in this scenario, we introduced pretty much like a four sections to deliver their SIM, to get activated their eSIM, if the users would want to pick up their SIM from the store, and if they already had a SIM previously bought but never used. So it's a way cleaner screen, and we had a lot of success on this one. So as a final step of the onboarding process is that we had our payments screen here, which was a lot unclear, because most of the sections were covered up. When you're paying, you want to see every section like opened, and you see what you're getting in. So if probably most of the users were kind of buying in different types of add-ons and promotions and stuff, the screen would be a lot bigger and unclear. So what we did was a lot of improvement there, where we kind of like introduced this card. Every section, the plan, the number, and the add-ons are all clear in one section card, and you can clearly see how much you're paying, and without any like drop downs and so on. So also we've chosen we added like payment methods for different kinds of payments. For example, the Saudi Arabian MADA card, we had like Apple Pay and the usual Master and credit card, and also like 2 options to pay now or pay later, because if you're going to get the card from the store, there's like a payment inside the store, and if you want to pay right now, you can do so without any issues. Final thoughts on the onboarding process is that onboarding is one of the most crucial parts of any app, and as a second thought is don't overcomplicate and bombard the users with unnecessary information. And to wrap it up, thank you for taking an interest, and
just to turn the mic on so that everybody can hear my wise words. Thank you, Antonio. Do you have any questions for Antonio? Oh, wow. Okay, people have actually loosened up.
Yeah.
Sandra, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You mentioned this screen was a success, and you mentioned that you kind of measured, I don't know, the success of the screen.
Yeah.
How did you validate? What was your process? Did you test with people on the street, or
Well,
get the numbers to validate that?
yeah. So after we did push these new screens and new design update, we had for 3 months we had upstream in the user flow there. So we kind of like tested with around 100 people or so. So they reported like they didn't had any issues on the previous screens that we had. So I guess kind of like that answers that question.
Yeah, related to those KPIs and so on, did you measure before and after, and what was the impact in numbers for the business people?
That information I cannot like share publicly. Yeah, sorry.
Like
I'm not
hundreds
asking
of
about
millions
the
of
numbers.
dollars.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I've seen one hand. Yeah, in the back.
Yeah, what kind of a data you were provided with before starting designing this user journey, and how did you notice the main pain points for the users?
Well, most of the pain points from the users was actually like reports that were reported that were most of the users were stuck on that particular screen. For example, we had like a lot of data from the customer service that helped the users to complete their onboarding process. Like, for example, that I've said about the activation of the card. Most of the users didn't know how to activate it, and they thought that on that screen they will need to follow some steps to pick their SIM or some other service they, for example, needed to know. And so.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
What was the feedback from the users with the transition from the old to the new design?
The feedback was mostly positive. Of course, every time you will have people that didn't know and didn't understand the new, like 70% of the new users didn't know how to use the app. Currently, what we have, like a 30%, they still needed to kind of like explanation and go through the steps with some kind of like customer service calls and tutorials and stuff. And the marketing over the version helped a lot. So when we were publishing the app, there was like a demo in every store in Saudi Arabia or Kuwait, so they kind of like get to know like a tutorial and so on, because it was a really huge change from, I don't know, 60 screens to 25 to tone it down, and a lot of bombardment of information.
Okay, Victoria was first. Sorry.
I have like a continuation from the previous question. Like,
Okay.
did you somehow measure after the learning curve? Because what you mentioned probably is like the after effects of learning,
Yeah.
learning curve.
Yeah.
Like after that, did you get like additional feedback and confirm that actually that's it, that it works?
We didn't confirm that that was like the issue, because this was kind of like a really fast-paced kind of redesign, so we needed like a tight deadline to do anything.
They're not complaining now.
Yeah, so yeah.
Are you guys using the same technology for developing the application? The old one and the new one?
Can you speak up a
Are
little
you
bit?
guys using the same technology for developing the applications? Like
Yeah, same technology.
Okay, and there was a raised hand. Sorry.
Huh?
Android and iOS, or
Yeah, it's both, or Android and iOS.
but the technology for developing is like React Native?
No, both are native.
Yeah, both are.
You had a question?
Yeah. As far as I could understand, this is like a mobile provider from one of the Arabic countries.
Yeah.
I was just interested, is there like any difference designing for people from the Arabic countries?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the persona maybe, or are there anything like special that separates them from European users, let's say, because for example, I've never designed for someone that's not from Europe.
Yeah.
And it's
Maybe
nice that
if you
you.
have anything like interesting.
Yeah, well, first, there's the language barrier.
Of course.
Yeah, because we go from left to right and they're
Yeah.
from right to left, so that's the one issue. Their market there is pretty different than the European or the Western market, so there's not much difference out of the things that I've mentioned, but when you're designing some graphics, maybe they kind of like are strict to what you're going to use and how you will present that, and also like we had a lot of issues with font supports and all of that, so those are like the main issues I can think of right now, and differences than the kind of like the European or Western world.
And I like how you were cautious European. European, like, the only difference is the language, the way that they are reading the letters, but yeah. European. There is also one raised hand here.
Thanks for the presentation. It's an interesting topic and it's very close to Sandra and myself right now. My question is related both to your presentation and Victoria's.
Okay.
It's about research. So you mentioned that one of the key data that you had when you started was the feedback that you received from the customer support team.
Yeah.
But besides that, what kind of research methods did you use to help you make better informed decisions when designing?
Well,
Do you want a minute or two to kind of write up the answer, the essay, for somebody who's kind of combining two topics? We don't have an award for the best question, but yeah, you are fairly close. Okay, I've bought you 15 seconds, Antonio. Yeah, I've bought you 20 seconds.
well, how to start that?
How did you start?
Well, we did start with a lot of planning on where was our problems, most of it. So right after that, we collected the data, what we had from the customers support, and also we kind of drew up what was the goal to achieve for what we needed to achieve, and what was kind of like the brand was, how to explain it. Yeah, it's
Did you do any journey mapping to understand how the customers are using the product.
Yeah.
Have been using the product so far. Did you do any user persona, stuff like that? Like, did those projects help you out? Did you have an opportunity to speak with customers?
No, we didn't have any opportunities to speak with the customers. We only had the data that was provided to us by the UX research team. So that data was like journey maps, flows, where flows broke, and all of that. So we kind of like had some of the picture where users were dropping out, and that was pretty much what we had currently on our hands.
I like how you've changed your question from the open-ended to the closed-ended, and then offering the options. Yeah, okay, cool. Somebody else trying to win the award for the best question, although we have a very, very front runner here. Okay, I do also have one question. At the pick a number, there were multiple options.
Yeah.
One was basic or standard. Then you had rare, exotic, and legendary.
Yeah.
What's the story about those VIP numbers? And
Yeah, the
it
VIP
seems more
number,
like World of Warcraft kind of thing, and not something when you are buying.
Yeah, the VIP numbers are most of them are bought by companies that they want their number to be like, let's say, easy to remember, and they usually get pretty much a lot of offers firstly. So we launch a lot of the offers for the VIP numbers first, and then we add in for all of the users. So those are the difference. So the other option was to bring your own number. So that's the usual when you're switching providers. You can bring your own number if you want it, or it's already.
And what would be an example of a legendary number, like legendary sword? Or something like that?
Well, I can think of one number is. I think they have like a 6 or 7 numbers, so it was like pretty basic, like 4 same numbers, and let's say 444 and then 332 or something like that.
And that's legendary.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do we have any more questions? Okay, then I think we can one round of applause for both Victoria and Antonio. Thank you very much. Although Antonio says he's not a dancer, if you stick around long
Probably
enough,
I will dance
after
tonight.
he drinks a few beers, yeah, he's like a proper Michael Jackson. So yeah, please join us. We have some refreshments over there. Thank you for joining the first design talks at Skopje. We'll be sending you an email where you can provide, and it will be close-ended question. What can be better, and what did you think about the talks, and also there will be a link to kind of sign up for our newsletter. Our marketing made me say it, so yeah, it's a cool thing. The design department is actually compiling all of the cool links that they've kind of seen through the past week, and it's very, very small, but still it's usually very, very interesting and entertaining. So once again, thank you very much, and we can go to the island, the kitchen island, and eat and drink together. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.